Come on. We say hello to a new season here at Daytona. Hello to the second season here for the Prestige Cup Series here. Once again from Daytona. For the Prestige Cup Series, we watched the duels last week as we saw some drivers take home some duel wins last week. Hello, my name is Christian Delgado, your lead producer and commentator for tonight's race here. Week 1 here for the Prestige Cup Series. Once again here from Daytona International Speedway, the World Center Racing. Now, a track that it's iconic for kind of starting off every kind of cup season we come to in on the sim and also in reality, where you see the NASCAR Cup Series, the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, and now the Craftsman Truck Series will kick off their season here in a couple weeks here at Daytona for their first points paying race. Obviously, they have to go to the Clash first at Bowman Gray. If that, happens to be obviously some weather constraints potentially constricting whether that race goes on or not. But obviously, first points paying race will come here at Daytona right after the duels that we also saw here for the Prestige Cup Series. We saw some drivers take home some trophies earlier last week. So, but just a little under 10 minutes now, probably cracking in to the 5 minute range. We get ready to look at some of your fastest drivers tonight on the track as we'll look at some of these drivers who have set a good lap here. We see the 5 here of JJ Moore making his way back into the field here as we start to see a little bit of as they call a pit party. Cash Culp leading the way here in that 51 machine. They're trying to figure out a good way to figure out how to race each other as they have some contact there. The 58 gonna kind of mess up this pit party, if you want to call it that. Some of your fastest drivers in practice, obviously, it is Daytona, so doesn't mean a whole lot comparatively to some other tracks, but you see Ryder Morgan in the 65 machine. This Toyota Camry back there in P2. Rex Jenkins in the 56 will flip that number around. You'll see him back there in P3. Carmelo in the 81. We saw him do pretty well in the duel. He's up there inside the top 4 and running at your top 5. Max Ford, he's going to be quick throughout the whole season. Was very aggressive in those duels to try to get up there and win the race. Unfortunately, not the duels that he probably wanted, getting wrecked out, pretty consistently throughout his duel, which I believe was duel 1 last week at Daytona. Hopefully Max can capitalize on, the race pace that he can show here, not only here at Daytona, but here throughout the season. Max is going to be a contender, I feel like, coming into season 2. Did not have the season he wanted last year in season 1. I feel like this is a really good rebound year for this 11 team. And we've talked about Max Floyd. He's kind of a regular here. JJ Moore, obviously, an admin and someone who really runs the show here. We have some guys who have been here since, season 1. Did you see the 3 go around there off the bumper of the 5? We have Wyatt Thompson back here in the 77. We can grab him right here. This black machine he was racing last year. But we also have some new drivers. Cash Culp in the 51 has made a new team with some drivers that come in here for season 2. Jacob Bryant, newcomer with the 48 with this. I believe it's the Hive Motorsports group. Yeah, that Hive Motorsports bunch. We've got a couple new teams who have approached here for season 2 of the Prestige Cup Series. So it's cool to see some new teams coming in and trying to make their mark here in this league. The 13 here, this Duolingo 13 machine, making his debut here. Jackson Brown and the 31 machine as he goes for a tumble. Remember, he raced here last year for a couple races, I believe, with the Quill Motorsports camp. Remember, Jacob Quill not racing with the Prestige guys anymore, but we do see some of those RCR reminiscent cars that we saw last year with the Quill guys. I'm glad to see some of the, kind of remnants from the Quill Motorsports months Coming back is, speaking of that, we see another 33 here, Colby Duckworth, the 33 green machine. See him back there. Now he's up to P5 in practice. So, um, cool to see some new names in the series. Cool to see some guys who raced last year come back. Obviously, we have the JJ boys. We have Kid Dory Davis, who's actually top of the board. Kendorian Davis in this C4 Energy. I don't believe. I mean, yeah, actually, that is correct. Now, I remember seeing Kendorian in a different number last year. He switched to the 8. Your reigning Cup Series champion here, changing over to the 8 in the C4 Energy. Chevy Camaro. Talked by Rex Jenkins in that 56 machine. I believe that's probably a cash quote machine. It looks like he's got that same kind of unique number on the side of his machine. We'll go to the 56 and we'll go back to the 51 of Culp here. They kind of have these like dashes throughout the numbers. So that's going to be an identifier for these cash quote machines. As you see, that's the 65. 56. You see they have these lines through the middle, kind of like a homage to kind of the Trackhouse numbers, I would say. I believe Wyatt Blair also in the 59, yeah, has that slash to the number. So I'm going to assume that these are all Cash Colt teammates or fast cash racing products or machines or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, some new eyeballs to look at throughout the race here. But you see just over 2 minutes left. We'll go ahead and look at some of you guys who are out on track. The 48 of Benjamin Bushnell right now. Winning someone else maybe. Just trying to get a feel for the car. Obviously, no qualifying tonight as we set the field last week in our duels. We remember we had 2 duels, Duel 1 and Duel 2. We saw some pretty aggressive racing. He's trying to get those duels, so I'm excited to see, what these drivers do here in the main race. Obviously, 250 miles, 100 laps here from Daytona. With the stage here on lap 30, and we'll talk about that later on when we get ready for your race rundown. After we get done with practice here, but you see the timer ticking down, under a minute left in practice. We get ready for the big one, right? One of the crown jewel events here for the Prestige Cup Series. Obviously, the Daytona, any race here at the World Center Racing is kind of a crown jewel event. Whether it is the season opener here for the Daytona 250, whether it is, if they decide to come back here for a second race. I believe they don't, as we're not doing a full length schedule here with the Prestige Cup Series, so I believe this will be a one and done here for Daytona. But I can look at the schedule real quick, so I'm not mistaken. I am correct, so I guess you can call this a crown jewel race. The first race of the season here at the World Center of Racing, and obviously any win here really means a lot to a lot of these drivers here. But you see the timer ticking down with practice getting ready to end here, and we'll get ready to not get into qualifying, but get into your starting lineup and your starting grid here from Daytona. Like I said before, we have the starting grid already set from the duels last week. We'll continue to wait on these drivers to get ready to get into those machines to get ready to go here. 100 laps here from Daytona, but we will give a little bit of time. Drivers can, make a lot of adjustments in these cars to, make it handle right. You can, there's so much more tools in the toolbox here for these next gens than typically there are maybe for the truck or the Xfinity car, or even if you want to call out the ARCA car. And with the MCs and the steering pinion, the racket steering pinion, so much different here in these next gens than you would see in any other NASCAR vehicle. But something I know just from experience in the next gen, the way that they have the offset in these fixed sets is that they have it to where they're actually turning the wheel straight in the corners, and it'll be a little bit to the right. You have to turn the wheel to the right down the straight. So some people like that or are used to it. Some people actually adjust that steering pinion to make it back to zero, to where they actually have to turn the car, actually physically turn the wheel to the left in the corners, and they'll have the wheel straight. um, down there. But we'll get ready to get your starting lineup here, presented by High Velocity TV, as they're already off and going here. Start your tonight's race, but we'll go ahead and get your race rundown and your starting grid. Norian Davis won Duel 2. Duel number 1 is he'll start on the pole outside JJ Moore in that number 5 machine. Max Ford alongside Jacob Bryant will round out that row 2. Peter Hopp and Colby Duckworth in that 33 will be in P6. Benjamin Bushnell alongside the 58 of Travis Prather. And rounding out your top 10 right there will be Carmelo Echeverria with Lucas Lewis rounding out that top 10. Running back there in P11, Cash Cole, Wyatt Blair in the 59, Reeve Simmons, Ryder Morgan in the 65, Joseph Enright, Wyatt Thompson, Tyler Helms, Juan Cobb, Rex Jenkins, Jackson Brown rounds out your top 20, and running out the field tonight, Caleb Gordon and Alex Krasinski in that number 72. Taking a look at your race weather for tonight's race. To 78 degree track and regular temperature 78 degrees with 7-mile-an-hour wind, 26% humidity. So a great night for racing. As obviously we see still some daylight out, but you see the sun starting to set, which means we'll be going from day to night. It'll be exciting to watch here. 100 laps here from Daytona, stage on lap 30, and 4 extra sets of tires, excluding the set they have on right now. 1 fast repair for these drivers tonight. But you do see the lights off on the pace car, which means we'll be going green this time by. You'll see that pace car take a hard left turn on the pit road, and we'll give this race over to Barney. See the flag in hand. We're going to get ready to start season 2 here from Daytona. And Dorian Davis alongside help from Max Ford. Gonna make that bottom row start to work here. JJ Moore will tuck himself in third back there. Third on the bottom, but also third on the track here. You'll see Dorian Davis leads your first lap here from Daytona. First car on that top side is going to be Colby Duckworth in the 33, help from the 58 of Travis Prather. Prather in that 58 pristine auction machine, trying to help the best he can to try to push out that 33 out in front here. Side by side for the race lead as that 33 has gotten alongside the 8 of Dorian Davis. As they're going to do a little bit of a drag down the start finish line. You see Colby Duckworth will lead that lap. He'll drop down and lead that bottom lane now. That'll give up the top 2, the 58 of Travis Prather. Travis Prather will now clear both lanes. Looks like he's going to stick up top now. Help from Wyatt Thompson in the 77. Wyatt will jump down. Looks like he'll take down the 58 with him. Now give the top lane to, I believe that's the 31 of Jackson Brown. Jackson Brown, it says the 21 in the sim, but it is the 31 on track. So that's something we're going to have to figure out here. But the 31, Jackson Brown now takes the lead as he will drop down to the bottom lane. And everybody just kind of getting diced up here. You see Tyler Helms in the 3. That's one of those high motorsports machines. Making his way up to the front already. And back there, rounding out that podium spot, the 77, Wyatt Thompson. Back there, sitting in third. Already a bunch of lead changes here. Already, as the laps have already started to wind down. Everybody just trying to find their place right now. Obviously, only on lap 4 of 100. Still a long, long race to go here. So it's just going to be a matter of, you know, I always see on these super speedways where at the start of the race we're going to see a lot of aggressive racing, maybe a wreck here early. You're going to see what we see. It looks like what we'll see now. We'll see everybody kind of find their place, get in line, and then just ride around a little bit. Try to find, a place and find the people that they can run with, and then, hopefully get out a long, good green flag run here, and maybe spice some things up during the green flag pit stops. And speaking of, green flag pit stops, it's something we have to talk about. Pit windows around, I would say 30 to 35 laps, depending on where you are in the pack. I would lean right now maybe for a Jackson Brown. You're gonna have to go around lap 30 because he's having to go full bore, full throttle throughout the whole track here as he's leading the pack. Well, let's go Dorian Davis, who leads the top lane as the top lane gets some momentum. If you're sitting back here and outside the top, 15 here, you look at someone like Reeve Simmons back here in 17th, or even like Wyatt Blair. Not Wyatt Blair. Wyatt Blair lost the pack as he started from the pits. But you look at someone back here like, Juan Cobb, or Alex Krasinski back here just sitting in line. And they don't have to use as much fuel to stay in the pack. Which means that they could probably easily, as caution waves, 51 looks like a Cash Cope will go around. Speaking of what I was trying to say, these guys don't have to go. They can go a little bit longer on fuel here, but a big wreck here on lap 5. We'll take a look and see what happened. Try to find Cash Culp here. See where this all started at. Looks like 3 wide here in the middle of the pack here, trying to get some momentum. Ooh, Cash Colt underneath the yellow there. Trying to get around the 81 there, but this is not the wreck yet. Wreck started back here in 1 and 2, I believe. Still waiting to see what happened. It looks like there's going to be a checkup on that bottom lane, potentially. Cash goes up to the top. I still don't see really anything that... I see now what happened. That was the start of the race. My apologies, everybody. See now back here. This is further up ahead. Cash Colpin in the back of the 58. Tries to get, yeah, it looks like he just tries to get in behind his teammate. Fortunately, Jackson Brown was there. And really nothing Jackson could have did wrong there. Unfortunately, just Cash just tried to clear. And there was a car there. And here comes the rest of the field here. Nowhere to go. You see the 2 high motorsports machines involved, the 48 and the 3. See the 83 trying to check up there. And the 72 because of Krasinski, my apologies, and in there. So that was, car low there for Cash Culp. But fortunate for a lot of those drivers who gets caught up in that carnage. A lot of drivers down pit road here. Other drivers still down pit road. EJJ Moore, pit side. Alongside, it looks like Jacob Bryant. Remember, we saw him get caught up in there at the 72. Here comes Krasinski out of pit road. Joseph Enright in the 57, new car for that driver. See Tyler Helms as well down pit side, the new camp. Rick Jenkins down pit road as well. So that's a lot of the fast cash cars right there. That caught up in that big wreck. Um, so unfortunate to see wrecking this early, but that's Daytona for you. And that I feel like that's just an epitome of two teammates just trying to get together there and try to work with each other. Unfortunately, didn't do the best job of doing that. So, fortunately, Cash tried to get down, and the 31 or the 21 in the sim of Jackson Brown was there. Nothing that 31 did wrong, unfortunately. Unfortunate for him, it looks like no damage to that Chevrolet Camaro. You'll see everybody go side by side. Do it in double file once again as we get ready to restart this race. We'll get ready to start lap 10 here. Lap 10 of 100. There's still a long ways to go. So, like I said early in the race, I felt like you're gonna see a long green flag run, or you're gonna see, a wreck within the first 10 laps, and we got one of the two, unfortunately, and you know, I'm not gonna say it was a bad move. Unfortunately, just Dash just kind of made a little bit of a mistake there. So happens to the best of us. Hopefully, Cash, you can continue here. Remember, we do have a fast repair for everybody. I'm unsure if some people used it. Looks like no one decided to use that fast repair yet. Everybody just trying to hold on to that as long as they can, which is the smartest thing that you can do. Using it this early unless you really need it to, probably not the wisest decision. And everybody try to just, even if they do have some damage, just try to limp the car around as long as they can until they have to absolutely use this, that one fast repair that they have. He lights off on the pace car once again. We'll be going green once again. You'll now see the 58 of Prather and Kenorian Davis lead us back to green. Pretty good jump from the 58 of Prather. Get out there ahead, and the 31 of Jackson Brown actually gets kind of linked up together with them. Good jump by the bottom row, but that's it. Those two linked up together, but here comes Peter Hopp in 83. One of those high motorsport machines coming up inside the top side. Here comes Max Ford. He's going to lead that top. He's going to take the 33 of Colby Duckworth with him. The top side getting some momentum here. That was really all from Max Ford and the 33 of Duckworth. Making that work, as you'll see that both those drivers drop down here. Lead the bottom now, leave 77 of Wyatt Thompson. Lead that top side. Wyatt comes to 31 of Jackson Brown. He'll jump up in front of the top lane and try to lead it now. I'll say this, we've seen a lot of momentum out of this top side. I feel like the top side, at least with these couple of laps we've ran here, been kind of the passing lane. You'll see that top side get a huge run off the corner. Usually at least get side by side with the race leader, but most of the time with a good run, they'll clear the leader of the bottom, and we'll jump down in front and just continue to cycle out, those drivers at the top up to the front. See side by side about 8-9 rows deep. Everybody's still relatively in the pack here. We see some drivers starting to drop off a little bit on the back part of the pack. Rex Jenkins back here in this 56. Trying to hold on for dear life here. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's already lost the draft. Almost 1.7 behind that last car back there. He does have a little bit of hope here with Ryder Morgan behind him in that 50, that 65, but a two-car tandem not really going to help get them up there. They need some mistakes to happen to get them back up inside the fight here. But luckily, a long race. You see the now the 65. Morgan will drop down in front. See if that tandem works a little bit better. They do have a little bit of a pack behind. We try to catch those two high machines, and then the 57, Joseph Enright, trying to get linked together here. Maybe these 5 cars can link together. That big 5 would be better than a 2 and 3 car pack. Like if it's not gonna impede them that much more, if I'm these 2 cars in front, I'm gonna lift just a little bit. Let those 3 cars behind catch up. Just make just a little bit of a bigger pack. But back up towards the front. Jackson Brown is taking your race lead away. Now top side has started to fade. But he going down to the bottom, trying to get single file here. We approach halfway in this first stage. I've really seen that top side has started to, there's nothing there now. I think that's the 8 of Dorian Davis up there maybe. Trying to make that work. He drops back in line, and now there's only 1 car up there now. He'll get shuffled back to the back of the pack. A single file for now to start this kind of first quarter of the race. Everybody kind of content where they are right now. As we see some shuffling back there, though. Like the 73, Luca Lewis, and a little upset due to something. That bumps Reeve Simmons out of the way there. But he'll jump back in line here, that triple dipper Chili's machine. Jump back in front of your defending series champion, Kendorian Davis. Kendorian now, just kind of sitting in line, just kind of, I feel like best term to use is just waiting around. Trying to see what everybody wants to do, trying to see the vibe of how people want to race right now. And it seems like everybody right now content, and in line, maybe saving a little bit of fuel, and just, you know, being content. A 14, coming to 13 laps to go in stage 2. I feel like it's not the time quite yet. Start to be aggressive and trying to move around, trying to make a spot yet. Straight through that 58. Up 1 spot from when they started right now. Currently your biggest mover by far right now is race leader Jackson Brown, up 19 spots from where he started. An impressive run for him. Still single file. Only one car a lap down. That is the number 30, Tyler Helms. He's back here in this smaller pack of cars. He fell off the lead draft. They continue to lose time. Almost 7 seconds off the pack here. So now dropping to 8 seconds. My apologies. That is one Cobb. These guys back here, this back here, already about, I would say, 15, 16 seconds off the pace. I mean, something's going to have to happen to get these guys to catch back up. Whether it's a caution, whether it's maybe like jumbled up grid flag pit stops. But I don't really know if that's a thing because we're getting ready to go to 10 to go into stage 1. So as long as they can stay on the lead lap, I guess that's kind of the goal here. Obviously not going to get stage points, but needs to at least get to stage 1. You see a lap car. That's not a lap car. That's one Cobb. So slowly get caught back from this second pack. So I guess I'll be another car. They can add to this pack here. I presume that they're not going to try to push him. He'll probably get shuffled to the back. See the speed difference between one car and even just a small pack here. He's getting caught very, very quickly. We're going to get shuffled at the back. Should be able to stick up with this for a pack. To get ready to go. Once again, still single file here. We approach the end of stage 1. The only stage here for tonight's race. No stage 2. Jackson Brown continues to lead. Since he's gotten this leader, he's not giving up. You see 15 of 23 laps led for this 21 machine. It says 33 on the car, but it's 21 in the sim, so it's going to be a little bit confusing. But we're going to call him the 31 because that's what the car says. We are pushing now 7 to go here in stage 1. When is the time where these drivers are going to make some moves to maybe drop a couple spots here to end stage 1? Just have to see. Right now, everybody content, running single file, trying to save their equipment right now. That's exactly what Jackson Brown wants to see. Obviously, I don't think we've hit that. I don't think in stage 1 we're gonna hit that mark to where the leader will have to pit before we end stage 1. I think he should be fine to lead every lap here if that's what he wants to do. Here we go. We start to see some double foul now. Guys starting to get a little antsy. Let's put them back. Now the 58. Travis Prather. Gonna jump. I think that's Peter Hopp who's gonna jump up top there. Gonna lead this top lane now as we get ready to approach 5 to go here at stage 1. Full car pack on the top. That's the 40, the 83, the 68, 59, and that 51. So this is basically almost all of that fast cash team. It's led by the High Motorsports 83 machine. Not really being able to make any headway here yet. Now we start to approach down. Now here comes the 73. Lucas will jump up to the top. Now here comes the 77 to Thompson. He'll lead the top lane. Go side by side. 77 still leads as they're going to start to build a run here down the backstretch. Again, got Max Wood up here pushing his bottom lane. We got the 33 of Duckworth, and really these top 3 on the bottom have worked really well together throughout this whole kind of stint here that we've had. Those top 3 continue to make that bottom lane just a little bit harder to pass. Thompson will go try side by side with the 25. He'll drop down now. But hey, top's not working for me. I'm going to drop down to the bottom. I got a couple of spots. I'm okay sitting right now in P5. I see the 70C. Now, oh, here comes the 21. He's going to jump up now. Now 3 wide. Number advantage still to the bottom as the middle lane will now try to make itself work. Jackson Brown, I don't know if he meant to do that, but kind of putting a sucker hole here. Now he's going to go to the back of the pack. He's a 73 and the 31. No help. Oh, the 51 contact as the 51 will go around. Cash Colpus, second wreck of the night. And Kasha will wave here to end stage 1. We'll take a look and see what happened. You see the 31 and the 73. Just have absolutely no help on this top lane. The one gets around the 73 fine, and he kind of comes up here. And then the 73 right there. Go back and watch this. 51 just really up the track here. The 73, I don't know if he's trying to find the hole or what. We see the 73 try to back up. He's got the 5 of JJ Moore. And he gives him a shot. Which kind of puts him back into the 51. And unfortunately, nowhere to go for the 5. Kind of both those incidents. He'll get caught up with this as well. It looks like Colby Duckworth is actually going to win stage 1 here as we end it under caution. I assume you're going to see some guys come, everybody really come down pit road here. I mean, it is basically a free pit stop as we end stage 1. Here comes the whole field here, following that 33 machine. And as they do some green flag pit stops, we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break while we get the opportunity to after the completion of stage 1. So we'll be right back after a word from our partners here at iRacing. As we welcome you back here to Daytona International Speedway here for the Prestige Cup Series from Daytona. As we just saw, number 33, Colby Duckworth, takes stage 1 here from Daytona. Back here live on the track. Colby Duckworth, not the best pit stop. This is the race lead. It relinquished that race lead over to Max Ford in this 11 machine. And Max, in his own right, having a pretty strong race for the time being in this 11 machine. And it's out in that top 3, top 5 position ever since he, went up there and kind of took it. Was okay. Kennison back there, I believe he got P3 in that stage, sitting behind the 33 machine. We'll see what Max Ford can do here for the remainder of this race. Is now we have no guaranteed cautions for the rest of the race. Remember, one stage here for these Prestige Cup drivers. Not like see in the real life Cup Series where we get 2 stages. Technically 3 stages, but 2 stage cautions. We get one, on that lap 30 that we just saw as Colby Duckworth took the win there. Now we're not guaranteed any cautions for the rest of the race here. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can keep it green or if we're going to continue to see, some more wrecks here that will slow down the pace here and kind of dictate, the strategy here. If we do go green, we have to think about, the fuel strategy, the pit strategy here. As I was told, about 30 to 35 laps here is the fuel range for these drivers, depending on how they play it out. If you want to go up there and be like the 11 and lead the race, the fuel mileage is going to be a little bit worse. Someone's going to sit back in the pack and try to fuel save just a little bit. But we got to get there first. Did you see the pace car will take a hard left turn back on the pit road? And we'll get ready to start stage 2. Here as we see the 11 and the 77 Toyota Chevy front row as Max Ford, need to go back into that restart zone to start stage 2. See a good run from that top side. Benjamin Bushnell will get side by side with the 77. for the race lead going into 3 and 4. Help from the 59 of Wyatt Blair. Blair making his name up here for the first time in season 2. Ooh, a little bit of slice it and dice it up there on that top lane. That's going to hurt the momentum just a little bit and allow that bottom lane to sling a little bit forward, as you'll give that lap to Wyatt Thompson. To the bottom, Max Ford has done a phenomenal job pushing all race long here. Seems like whatever lane he's in, that lane goes forward. Max continues to push that bottom a little bit forward compared to that top lane here. Is the 25 of Bushdell. Still trying to find kind of that dancing partner here at the front of the field. Wyatt Blair did a good job getting him up there, but they just have not been able to maintain that momentum there. Continue to try to get that 25 out to the lead. You see, for the first time, you see, I believe that's the 24 of Caleb Gordon making his way up to the front, that Raptor machine. I believe we saw Caleb in a couple of races last year. Make a few select starts there in the Prestige Cup Series last season. Coming on board once again for the season 2, as you see the 77. Wyatt Thompson, I don't know if that was intentional or not. They get shuffled out big time there on that bottom lane. He'll fall back outside the top 10. Then back there and around that P13, P14 range. As that kind of really killed him a bit of at the bottom. Max Floyd will take your race lead. Now it's kind of a little bit of a 4-car breakaway. Wyatt Blair is back there running out your top 5. Caution will wave there in the back. We heard a huge wreck is a 3. That's the 3 of Tyler Holmes around and going into 1 and 2. We'll take a look and see what happened here. Like 3 wide back there for the 3 of Tyler Helms, and unfortunately, a little bit of contact. We'll see if there's some net code involved. But tries to make it middle 3 on the 25. Looking for it. I don't really think there's any net code contact. If there is, it's hard to see. And then you see, oh man, a huge hit for the 65. Ryder Morgan with a terrible hit to the outside wall. That's going to be a fast repair he's going to have to use right there. And nowhere 65 could go. Oh man, what a huge hit to the outside wall. I think Dorian Davis, you can call him involved, but no damage to that 8 machine. Just trying to, it looks like he spun it out, just trying to get it locked down and out of the way here. Right on board with the 8 machine. I just spins it out on the apron there, trying to get it slowed down. No harm, no foul. Got on board with JJ Moore as he gets through the wreck. Good avoidance by the 5 machine. I would have loved to get a word with your stage 2 winner of the Duckworth, but I don't see Colby in the VC. So, you know what? Max Floyd leading this race right now. Like he's coming down pit road here. But when he gets in his box, we'll go ahead and pull him into the broadcast booth and we'll have a word with the 11 on Max Ford. Hey Max, it's Christian up here in the HVTV booth. You got a copy?
I copy.
Well, looking pretty racy out here for you and this number 11 team. Obviously, pretty close to winning that first stage. Obviously, I believe he came there and came home in P2 or P3 behind the 33 machine, but obviously it seems like you've been pretty aggressive to get up to the front and pretty early there. Is that kind of the game plan for you to kind of stay up towards the front? And you're not going to be one of those guys who are going to kind of try to ride in the back and hope, to get through these cautions, or you're going to be one of those drivers who's going to be super aggressive to try to keep the track position tonight?
Honestly, the original plan was if I got stuck in mid-pack, I was dropped to the back in that first stage, but I just stayed up front. And honestly, right now, I feel very confident with the people around me that I'll stay up in the front and they'll push me, I'll push them. And we have a little strategy going with keeping the temps clear for them and working together. But if I need to save this run, I'll drop to the back. But if I don't really need to save, then I'll probably stay up in the front.
Yeah, and walk us through kind of the pushing. Obviously, we've seen any lane that you've gone to, you've put them out to the front, or at least been kind of a that kind of mainstay to keep that lane going. What is it? What? How difficult is it to keep that lane going, but also maintaining those temps?
Honestly, it's just about teamwork. Like when me, Jackson, and Wyatt were leading the bottom there in that good little run in stage one. Jackson just need to hold the bottom. Wyatt needs to push Jackson in the front and back, and then the corners he lets off. And so if Jackson goes up in the corners and he goes up half a lane from the bottom, he gives Wyatt some clean air. And on the front and the back, I'm pushing Wyatt to push into Jackson, and we're getting a better run. Then I'll, like right before the corners start, I'll lift off, give Wyatt some space to get some clean air, cool his temps, and repeat the process. If I'm leading, just like I'm doing with Colby, that last run I'll give him clean air in turn one. If I'm right behind someone, I'll usually lift off in the corners, and hopefully the person in front of me gives me air in the bottom. That allows me to clean my temps, and I can push harder when a run comes or just when I want to push.
Looks like teamwork is looks like might be the mainstay here to potentially put yourself in victory lane tonight. But then we're getting ready to go 1 to grade. So thank you for coming down and talking to us, and good luck for the rest of the race.
Thank you.
That's where he was at. I hope I just drag him into the wrong VC. Max Ford in the number 11. Looks like he'll be starting P3 as we did have some drivers who stayed out here. Wyatt Blair, Travis Prather, two teammates. Your teammates will start on the front row as they only have technically 8 lap less fuel. Obviously, Tyler isn't a big deal here at Daytona. So I would say the fuel mileage, if we can go green, that's going to be the deciding factor between these two teammates. Obviously, they probably have their own strategy of why they stayed out, two teammates. And I guarantee you we might even have a teammate restart where either the 59 will clear up, put in this 58, or the 58 will clear down to lead this bottom lane. But we'll have to see here. As you see the pace car take a hard left turn once again on the pit road, we'll have two teammates lead us back to green. 58 with a good jump. The 58. A little bit of blocking there. So he'll jump in front of Colby in the 33. In his bottom lane. And we've seen how well Colby can push. So honestly, not the baddest idea to just kind of go wherever that 33 wants you to go. You'll see that bottom lane start to go up. Here comes the 59. Wyatt Blair will go up there, try to lead that top lane. But you see that 11 up here inside the top 3 once again. After coming in as your race leader. We've talked about how Max just talked about it, how well he's been working with Colby, trying to give him the pushes he needs to. He'll jump up with that 33 machine. Here comes Colby Duckworth to the lead. And like I said, and like Max said, it's just about that teamwork. Who can you trust to work with like that? You can see that he definitely went out of his way to go work with that 33, and I don't blame him, right? If you feel comfortable pushing someone and pushing them well to get up to the front, you have to go with that person. I mean, it's just kind of common sense that if you know you can work well with someone in the pack, they make you to go to the front. Kind of a no-brainer to go and work with them and go out of your way to work with them versus someone who you might not know as well or not feel as confident pushing or getting a push from. So you see that 11 at 33 drop down. They'll be 1-2 here on that 43. As I would say, these couple of drivers continue to dominate here from Daytona. Wyatt Blair up there in the 59, still trying to do his best to get that top lane rolling. Help from the 25 of Bushdell. Once again, I don't know what happened. Obviously, you do see the lights on as we've transitioned to the darkness here in Daytona Beach. I don't know, maybe, you know, it turning into night, maybe has hurt that top lane. But it definitely hasn't had, you know, the power that I did at the start. At the start of the race, it looks like that top lane was better than the bottom, but as of recent, this bottom lane has just been by far the best lane here. And now we see a little bit of a 3-car breakaway on that bottom lane. This is a prime example right now of, I believe that's a 56 of Rex Jenkins in the 56. He's just not trying to get this lane going. It looks like he might be trying to save just a little bit of fuel. And really his priority isn't to get to the rear end of his teammate there in the 58. It's just to kind of ride around right real quick. As you know, on the other hand, you see Max Ford in that 33 basically tandeming you in the corners. Go back on the rear decklet of this 33 and you'll see them. I mean, they're touching each other here down the backstretch. The 11 left there, and that's just due to, well, remember what Max was talking about with the temps. Maybe he just got a little bit too hot, had to lift off here. And that's what you see now. But you see now, he's a little bit cooled off. You can see him, boom, there's a bump come into the 33. And they're just making full-on contact now here through the tri-oval. But we might have found a decent combination on that top side, because here comes the 81 of Carmelo. He's going to try to lead that top lane. We got help from Reeve Simmons and Wyatt Thompson on that top side. Top side starting to roll here. You see the kind of a 3-car breakaway on that top side now. It's so fun, especially at these super speedways, to see the dynamics of the top and the bottom go. Because you'll see the bottom, they'll get a run on that bottom lane. It's because it's the shortest way around the track. But then you go up to that top lane, because you don't have to turn the wheels much. You'll see it most of the time. You'll see on the exit of the corners, if they have the backstretch, you'll see the top lane just have a little bit more top end speed compared to the bottom, and you'll see them kind of accordion back and forth. You'll see this 81 trying to make this topside work, trying to do everything in his power to get some help. Speaking of help, you see the 77 tried to jump from that top lane. Now it's going to be the 67. and 81 kind of by themselves. As here, looks like the 77 trying to jump out again, but unfortunately, the 5's there. JJ Moore was already there to cover up that spot. The 77 will drop back down, and here comes JJ Moore to try to help this top lane out. You just got to be careful when it comes to pushing that second car. This is where things can get a little hairy. Now, you're here in racing all the time, especially at these super speedways. You cannot push the pusher. With this next gen package, especially in a sim, you can get away with it if you have 3 really talented drivers there. And now it looks like they're trying to make it work the best they can. And they are making it work, because you see now the top side by side right here with the bottom lane. And here comes Carmelo on the top side to try to take your race lead away. '81 with the momentum off the top side. Hope of the 67. Be a drag race to the line here. But that top side might prevail here. Give it to the 81, as Carmelo will lead his first lap streak from Daytona. See the 81 drop down in front of the 33. He'll lead the bottom lane now. Here comes Max Ford to do a little fake out. He was going to try to go up there and lead the top, and not want to do that. And just like that, look at the top side. Fading and fading fast. I don't know what's, maybe Reeves might have some damage or something, but when that 81 dropped down, that killed the top lane. Everybody scattered down to the bottom once again. Is now Carmelo. And 81 will lead laps here in that Toyota Camry. We just crossed that halfway point here in tonight's race. And we're about halfway into potential green flag pits, like into getting into green flag pit stops here. About 12 laps complete with everybody, except for these 2 outliers. We talked about this earlier. Travis Prather and Wyatt Blair, and right now 4th and 5th. They're going into their 21st lap of this stint, if you want to call it that. So they will have to pit earlier than the rest of the field here. Obviously, it's nice to have someone else to pit with, but you'd like to have maybe 3 or 4 more cars to come down pit road with you. They might be able to drag like maybe a teammate like Cash Culp. No, Cash Culp out of the race, so that's a huge thing to talk about later on in the race if it comes down to a numbers game. Cash Culp, 21 laps down out of the race already. Obviously, we saw him get caught up in a couple of wrecks. I'm not surprised to see that his car is probably tore up. With this 58 and this 59, we're gonna have to look at them and potentially, you know, have to do something different here if we continue to go green. See the 77 of Wyatt Thompson now jumps up to the top side, up to the P4, now P5 spot. Just trying to get the momentum from that top side working. Got help from the 67 again, but now he'll drop out of the bottom. He said, I just wanted some track position. He sees the 33. Colby Duckworth thought that top side was going somewhere. He jumps up, and as everybody drops down on the bottom once again, now the 67 will try to push this 33 out of line. Whoa, a huge wobble out of the 65 there in the back. I think that was a 56, actually, Rex Morgan. No, that was the 56, the 65. Carter Morgan, only car a lap down right now, so That 65 is definitely looking for a caution to get himself back into the race. Up towards the front once again. Travis Prather, remember, on that different strategy, but has worked his way up inside the top 3 now. And with this, like, when I go back to say, now I got Prather and then Blair back to back here, 3rd and 4th. I don't know. I mean, 8 laps is the difference between the 58 and the 59 compared to quite literally the rest of the field. So I don't know. I think that number is too big to have someone that's not like an aligned team or maybe a teammate to go out of their way to work with them. So if it goes green there, this 58 and this 59, if they don't have a good stop, might be in a little hairy situation here. If we don't get a caution here before we have to start doing green flag pit stops. But everybody being pretty cordial with each other right now when it comes to pushing and when it comes to giving each other space and respect. We see now the top side trying to work again now. Lucas Lewis in that 73 McDonald's machine. Help from the 65. Remember that 65 is a lap car. Ryder Morgan said, hey, I'll push you if you try to get me out to the lead potentially, so I could stay on the lead lap. 65 has the 5 machine. JJ Moore behind him. 73 starting to march his way up to the front. I'm interested to see if one of these race leaders will jump up to that top side. Take this run away or maybe block the run. And now it looks like, once again, the top side gets a huge run, drives up to the field, and then, I don't know, maybe the bottom just decides to go, or if there's just always a mistake off the top line. And now you start to see this top side stake back. Now the 73 is back outside the top 5. Feels like they almost raced for the race lead. Now outside the top 5 once again. But still up front. Carmelo Echeverria alongside Max Ford. We talked to him earlier this race. Said, hey, if I'm going to be up front, I'm going to be aggressive. But if I get even somewhat towards the middle of the field, I'm dropping back and I'm going to just sit there and save and try to keep this car clean. But this 11 has been able to stay up inside really the top 5 all race. Help from teammates, help from, even if it's friends, right? To keep his car up there. So he doesn't have to drop to the back. We're still inching closer and closer to the green flag pit stops. We're going to put up here on the left side of your screen the last time some of these drivers came to out pit road. So 20 laps for most of the field, but you see there P3, they added P6. 28 laps. Remember, I told you in the pre-race, 30 to 35 is that kind of that fuel window where you want to come down pit road. Now, the interesting thing is I think that maybe everybody but those 2 cars can maybe try to make it to lap 70 and then pit there with 30 to go and be pretty good to go. But I don't think that the 58 and that 59 can go 2 laps 70. As we cross the stripe here, lap 60, so 40 to go here from Daytona. They can go another at least 10 laps here, everybody else, but I would say the 5 in the 5th place car and that 8th place car and maybe go at most of 5 more laps. At most, I would say maybe 7 or 8 more laps. See JJ Moore take you to race lead here. The front that's kind of shaking itself up. The 33 blinking a little bit. No harm, no foul, though. It looks like everybody sorts itself out. Now JJ Moore drops to the bottom. And now it'll be Duckworth and Moore side by side for the race lead. Be right there. Over 190 for most drivers here. They're flying down here down the Daytona super stretch. Still side by side for your race lead. That's JJ Moore, help from the 73. And Colby Duckworth, help from the 13. Juan Cobb has made his way up to the front for the first time. That 13 machine. Making his way up to the front here in the latter half of this race. And this is the cool thing about super speedways. You could ride in the back for the first half. And then when it's time to go, you could realistically drive through the field if you could navigate through the traffic and just show up out of nowhere. And you think about like the Mr. Where did he come from? And those types of clips, it's from these super speedway style races. And think about Kevin Harvick in 2007. He led the last lap. That was the only lap he led. And he won the Daytona 500, right? Obviously, different car, different era, right? Different track surface, right? That was before the 2011 track repave. That was back with the, what you call, bumpy Daytona, where you really had to drive that car. Listen, now, Daytona's a little bit easier to drive. It is a kind of generic super speedway, but he's a 13, making his way up to the field here. Up 15 spots right now. He is your biggest mover as he tries to take the lead here, going down into 3 and 4. I'm going to go back and look back at these drivers. We're on lap 33 of these guys' stints. They got to be coming in within the next 3 or 4 laps, I would presume. Despite a caution coming out. So a little bit dicey here in the middle of the pack. And that's exactly what that 58 and 59 want is, a caution. But you see them lined up nose to tail. They might be pitting this time. No, they decided to stay out. One more lap. Give you the eyes to see what it's like in the middle of the pack here. See the top starting to roll here. And Dorian Davis, help from the 24, help from the 77. They try to get that top rolling once again. JJ Moore continuing the lead here from Daytona. I think they got that top to work pretty well, as you see Dorian Davis will drop down into P2. Caleb Gordon, his first time up here inside the podium spot. Now 24 machine, he'll be P3. And that top lane is still trying to roll here. Jackson Brown now leads the top lane up there. Out from the, I believe that's the 3 machine, Tyler Helms Tyler Holmes was caught up in that big wreck. Had quite a bit of damage. Was a lap down at one point. Now he's up inside the top 5. We'll see Tyler. He'll jump out of the line. He wants to go to the back. So Tyler will go from top 5 to outside the top 15. Because here comes drivers down pit road. Ooh, this 58. That's Prather. That might be a black flag for him. Black flag for the 5th. Who is this? So the 58 with a black flag. Also a black flag to the 59. Wyatt Blair with a black flag as well. That's huge. That's a huge hit for those cars. See Peter hop down pit road. And Alex Krasinski, due to those pit stops, he'll come back here. That's going to be a huge hit for some of those drivers. Here comes Joseph Enright out of pit road. But like he was the only car out of that Cash Colt camp to not get a penalty there. See Peter Hop coming out of pit road. Lex Jenkins now in that 56. See, he makes it out. So Enright does have at least a teammate. Oh, the 56 loose coming out of pit road. That's going to lose him a lot of time. And here comes the field to put them a lap down. And with all that kind of green flag cycling, Colby Duckworth back to the lead for the 2nd time this race. We'll see them get around some of these lap machines there. That's probably night over for probably Wyatt Blair, Travis Prather. I mean, they're going to need a miracle to help them out. Actually, Wyatt Blair, Travis Prather got those black flags cleared. So I'm unsure of what's going on with that. But Duckworth, Ford, Brown, Moore, and Davis. And me, your guys come down to Pat Road, and here comes Max Ford. He'll take a lot of the Toyotas down pit road with him. The Max Ford, at least at least left sides here. Probably going to top off on some Sunoco race fuel. And there he goes, off pit road. See the gaggle of cars behind him coming, going to follow him out. Not the best pit stops from a lot of these drivers behind. You see, he's kind of got a gap to like everybody behind him. He's either going to have to slow up and let these guys get to him, or just hope that they can, you know, get together in a group and catch him. The driver's on pit road now. Here's the field. That's the pace car. So JJ Moore takes your race lead over. Here comes JJ Moore and kind of the pack of Chevrolets here. Oh, Kid Dorian Davis. Is that a black flag for the 8 machine? Wow, lots of black flags. JJ Moore, Kid Dorian Davis, and Caleb Gordon got a black flag there. We'll see if they get cleared. Yes, all of those are cleared. Now we're going to have to try to cycle out to see, like, who gets this race lead here. Actually, Wyatt Thompson out of pit road. Like, he's going to take your race lead right now, according to timing and scoring. It's going to be a battle of who could kind of get out of the pits first. So right now, it looks like Wyatt Thompson, Benjamin Bushnell will be the winner here in the next pack. It's this little two-car tandem of Duckworth and Brown. You see right up there, that's the pack right there. You see the left side corner view screen. They got a little bit of time to catch up. They got some work to do. But you see back there, Max Ford, he has a little bit of pack of 5 cars now. And they're going to easily get a run on these drivers. He'll probably take, no, he's going to lift and push these guys out. I mean, that was a huge run. I expected him to maybe take that, turn that wheel to the right and get around them with help from those high motorsports machines. But no, he'll lift. Now this 2-car pack will turn into a 6-car pack. And now these two up front are kind of sitting ducks, right? Unfortunately, you at the very least need a 3-car pack to potentially, like, at least kind of keep the momentum going and to keep going forward. But you see the Jackson Brown, you see on your timer screen, that time is slowly ticking by, slowly getting closer. As this 31 will slowly approach the back end of these two. Great pit stop by these two, and unfortunately, it was too good. Remember, you look back at Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin lost a race like this. And he said, remember what he said in an interview? Our pit stop was too good. That's why we lost the race. I feel like that's what happened in the 25, the 77. They had such a good stop that they got out 2 by 2, but when no one else. And here comes the 31. He'll take that hard left turn, hard right turn. And he's going to try to take the lead away from the 77. The 33 will jump up as well as the 11 of Max Ford. Gave the lap to Jackson Brown. Because those three will easily clear the 77. As they will probably try to get down here as they will jump in front of the 77. But only 25 laps to go here from Daytona. Everybody should be good off fuel to get to the end. Looking at when everybody pitted, everybody should be good. The only people I'm even slightly concerned with, maybe these guys back here, Joseph Enright and Travis Prather, and Rex Jenkins back here, who pitted, you know, by far the earliest out of everybody. But they are well off the pace here. Almost 23 seconds behind your race leaders. So they're going to need a caution anyways to give themselves a chance to go up there and race for a win anyways. And I feel like that's what they need. And obviously, if they get a caution, they're kind of not good on fuel. That will obviously be a free pit stop for them to come down, top off on fuel, and get themselves back with the pack. And now it's only a 9-car field here, rounded out by that 25 of Benjamin Bushnell. The next pack is a group of 4. 4 seconds back, that's led by Juan Cobb, technically. But he does have the 59 of Wyatt Blair, who is a lap down, leading this pack. But unfortunately, they are not closing in enough. They're actually losing just a little bit of time to that front pack. You see that front pack up there. And they're trying their best to get up there. See if they can do it. feel like they are slowly but surely reeling these guys in. So it's gonna be interesting. Like it says for you guys, 5 seconds behind the leader. And I'm looking at, and I can see on timing and scoring, the Juan, and he's the second car in pack. He's only 6.6 seconds behind Benjamin Bushnell, who's the last car in the pack here. And they have borderline lost the front of the pack here. Alex Gruzinski and that 25 might have lost the lead pack. Like they're getting going again. That was a scary situation potentially for those two. And now I can imagine a lot of these guys up here in this top 9 pack. You know, we hear this a lot in the sim. There's only 9 of us up here. If we don't wreck, we can race for the win between ourselves. Now, they might be saying that. But saying and doing is 2 different things, right? And I feel like you probably hear this sometimes in the in real life, right? Hey, if we keep it green, there's gonna be 9 cars racing for this win, right? The other pack back here, who's led by Wyatt, Blair, and Juan, aren't gonna get there in time, as it looks like. They're actually not catching really that much anymore. They're kind of stuck right there at that 5-second gap. If they keep it green, these guys race it between themselves. So here comes Katorian Davis to go a lap down. Yeah, it's such a promising night as well. Okay, Katorian 2 laps down. I mean, he needs a miracle to get him back up there because we already have a handful of cars that are 1 lap down, so it'd be hard for that 8 to potentially get back here. I mean, it is possible if somehow these guys 1 lap down all wreck together and Kendorian doesn't get any incident points or whatever through that caution. He might get the lucky dog to put him a lap down with everybody else. But, I mean, once again, it's going to be, there's nothing really he can do right now to get him back in the fight. So, you see everybody still strung out single file. We saw this earlier. Everybody content. Letting this number 31 lead the race of Jackson Brown. Right here. Right, all the way back at 20th. But has led several laps here. We'll actually take a look at the laps led for this 21 now. 28 of the 84. So that's, I mean, he's going to lead a quarter of this race. He's led over a quarter of the whole race, and we're not even done yet. So Jackson has been doing a good job keeping the lead. Obviously, we know he's got some friends behind him that are going to work with him. As the laps continue to tick down now. 17 to go, going to 16 to go in the Daytona 250. Week 1 here for the Prestige Cup Series here in Season 2. Their second season, just, you know, passing up on that inaugural season. Won by that number 8 you see in that pack. Unfortunately, not the race he wants to start the season, but Dorian Davis, your defending champion, your reigning champion here in the Prestige Cup Series. Sitting in the pack there. He's probably going to do what it... You know, it's funny because there's some cars in this pack that aren't racing for the win. You see the 8, Dorian, 2 laps down. You can't decide. He's a potential factor who wins this race, even though he's not really in the fight. If we go side by side, he's gonna have to pick a lines to run in, right? And he's going to have to do something. Now, Condorian's going to jump up to the top. I think this is smart for the 8. I think it gives him a way better chance to potentially claw himself out of this 2-lap down hold. If he can go up there and potentially take not the lead away, but if he can lead this pack, right, he'll be technically ahead of the leaders, which will put him only 1 lap down, right? That's what he's doing right now, trying to go up there, lead the top. He's got help from Wyatt Thompson and JJ Moore up there at the 5 sheet. But you see on the bottom, you've got some tough guys to go up there and try to pass. Because that 31 to 33 and that 11 have been really hard to pass all race. But he will clear on that top side. Wyatt Thompson will jump down. And Dorian will jump down. For the time being, Dorian has unlapped himself. See how long this lasts. And now you're starting to see the aggressiveness pick up. JJ Moore also trying to unlap himself. But this is going to be interesting, right? As we see Dorian blink out. That's not good. JJ Moore's technically a lap down. He's trying to stay leading this pack. So if a caution comes out, he is on the lead lap. And this is always kind of an interesting situation. If you're the race leader, obviously you want to be leading this pack. You want to be in control of this pack, right? But if you're a lap car, if you're a car that's trying to stay on the lead lap, you're going to try to stay up there. You're going to try to stay on the lead lap, obviously, like this 5 is doing. I know it can be very frustrating for these race leaders trying to navigate these lap cars. These guys that even aren't technically racing for the win here. Like you look at right now, JJ Moore, technically leading the pack, but he's he's literally feet away from being the first car lap down. Same thing with Caleb Gordon. Really, same thing. So right now, actually, the front 3 leading this pack are all lap cars. The race for the lead right now is between the 11 of Max Ford and the 77 of Wyatt Thompson. So Max leading the top, and Wyatt just pushing down this bottom lane. If we don't get a caution, these lap cars will decide who wins this race. I don't see Max. I don't see Wyatt. I don't even see someone like Jackson Brown or Duckworth just sitting behind these lap cars and just letting whoever can navigate around the lap cars to win. We get ready to count down these laps as we get ready to go. Halfway done with this lap. We're getting ready to hit that 10 to go here. We got about 10 and a quarter laps left in this race. Unless we get a caution here in the closing laps. So looking at your race leaders now, we do know that there are cars up front. Those guys are not racing for the win. Right now the win is between the 77 and that 11. The 5, the 24, and the 8 that are leading this pack are all laps down, or at least trying to stay on the lead lap. So the 5 and the 24 trying to stay on the lead lap. Which is that 8 who was 2 laps down, jumped himself up to 1 lap down. Starting to see that 11. Max Ford getting a little antsy. Knows that he's kind of in a weird spot right now. Really, the best car who's in a spot right now is that 77 of Thompson, because he can see the runs. He can block them, right? he can figure out what he needs to do to keep this lead underway, under wraps, basically. And once again, if that top lane starts to emerge, what will these lap cars do? Will JJ Moore go up there and block a run to keep himself on the lead lap? Hoping for a caution, right? That's all that these cars at front are trying to do. Trying to stay in front, hoping for a caution to give themselves a second chance. In the 8 of Dorian Davis, hoping for a caution just to get a lap down with the rest of the other lap down cars. Because right now he's the only car 2 laps down if he gets past, right? So if a caution comes out here, he will go back to 1 lap down basically when we go back in if we get a caution. And Dorian Davis actually pulling out a line here. So now he will go back down to 2 laps down. Interesting call for the 8. Jump out of line there. Maybe he sees, okay, 8 to go. This is not my race. I'm going to jump out and let these guys race it out. If that's the case, then you have to give it applause to this 8 machine for being a bigger person and getting out of the way, right? You're 2 laps down now. It's not your race. It's not your place to try to go out there and block and race for the win. And on the other hand, this 24 and this 5 have a little bit more on the play here, right? A little bit more to play with, because technically they're on the lead lap, staying right here. So if a caution comes out, they get to cycle back around. And Dorian, on the other hand, is trying to just stay 1 lap down instead of 2, right? So JJ Moore will lead us back to the flag here. Now 6 to go. And we do appreciate everybody for coming out, watching the broadcast tonight. We appreciate all love and support, and we appreciate the Prestige Cup Series for allowing us to come out here and present this league that they put together. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button down below. Please hit a thumbs up on the broadcast. Share it with friends and family. We are young and hungry broadcasting network that are just trying to get our foot in the door, trying to get our feet wet. So we appreciate everybody coming out and watching the broadcast. We really do appreciate it. If you're watching over on twitch.tv/ChristianBoss13, we appreciate you watching as well. But now 5 to go here for the whole pack here. Now when I can imagine that these leaders are going to let these 2 lap cars lead the rest of the way here. When do one of these leaders pull out a line, try to make that top work? You start to see the top start to work. They're trying to make it work up there. I think that's the 48 of Brian up there, trying to get that top to work. Help from the 81 and help from the 72. And the 72 drops on the bottom. Now 4 to go, coming into the stripe. And that top line's got to get going if these guys want to have any chance at getting to the 77. And if I'm the 77, I'm doing exactly what he's doing right now. I'm getting to the back of those lap cars and I'm pushing them out as far as I can, as much as I can. Now the issue is, I see the 11 trying to back up a run. See, he's not on top, right, of the 77 like the 77 is with those cars up front. Now you see in the back. That top lane's starting to go. It's Dorian Davis. Contact. Because they'll all save it, I believe. It's Jacob Bryant down pit road. That needs to be cleared. Because that will definitely eliminate any chance he has at racing for the win there. But I know he's got a black flag right now for unsafe pit entrance. He needs to get that cleared for sure. As we go now 3 laps to go. Here comes the 31. Jackson Brown trying to make that top lane work. Help from that 33 teammate of his on the top side. Unfortunately, with those lap cars, probably they're going to sit on that bottom this whole time. It's going to be hard to get that top side to work. I ultimately think it's going to be between this 11 and the 77, just the way the cards have played out. If they want that top side to work at all, that 81 is going to have to jump up. There's going to have to be like a 4v4, basically, with the lap cars. And Dorian Davis at the back, they've lost the touch with the lead pack here. I don't think they're gonna have enough time to catch. It's gonna be close. And here they go. Battle for the lead up front. I'm gonna go back up here this battle. As we get the white flag here. 77 gonna work with those lap cars, but Max Ford has made that outside line work. As here they go. Max Ford contact with the lap cars. It's everything they got now. Max Ford, a huge block on the 31. 31's going to get to the outside of the 11. Jackson Brown now 3 wide for the lead going into turn 3. No help on the top line. No help on the middle. Wyatt Thompson coming into turn 3 and 4 for the final time. The 11 gets hooked, and that will definitely give it. Wyatt Thompson will win week 1 at Daytona. What a finish. And like I said, the lap cars definitely helped. I wouldn't, not in a bad way, but they did alter the outcome of the finish. I'm not saying that the 77 does not deserve this win. He had a heck of a race. See the 77 going across the stripe here. It looks like the 58 maybe out of fuel here. He's going to help his competitor get across the line. The 77 will burn it down here on the World City of Racing. The 77 continue to burn it down here on the front stretch. Congratulations, Wyatt, winning, week 1 crown jewel event here for the Prestige Cup Series. See him park it down here in the grass. And we're going to go ahead and take a quick commercial break, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at potentially that wreck that happened on the last lap between the 11 and the 31. And we'll go ahead and talk to your top 3 finishers in who finished tonight. And we'll get ready to start your post-race show here presented by HVTV. But we'll be right back after a word from our partners over at iRacing once again.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Daytona International Speedway for the post-race show here for the Prestige Cup Series. Here from the World Center Racing, we just watched Wyatt Thompson take home the checkered flag. And before we talk to your top 3 finishers, I do want to go back and look at this wreck that happened on the last lap here. See if we can go back in this replay a little bit. This might have been after fact here. Go back here. I think this was the white flag lap, I believe. So here comes the 11. Gonna make that top side work. Help from the 81. You see the 31. I see a contact with the 5 there, and that looks like a lot of net code. Did 11 with a big block on the 31 there. That loses all the momentum there. And you'll see the 81 getting to the back of the 11 here. A huge shot. Oh, not really, actually. Nothing. So you see the 80. Oh, man. We'll go back and look at this. This killed any run that we had. Yeah. It's hard to tell there what happened. This looks like maybe, yeah, the 11 definitely comes up. Looks like the 81 comes down a little bit, unfortunately. That's all that will happen here. And that will, eliminate any run that anybody had to kind of get to the line there. Tyler Holmes ends up coming home P2. Jackson Brown, you'll see it coming across the stripe there, and that 31 will come home P3. Speaking of that, go ahead and talk to your top 3 finishers tonight here from Daytona. We'll get ready to get your camera set up here. We'll go ahead and talk to your race winner here in the 77. Let's go ahead and talk the man of the hour, Wyatt Thompson. Actually, we don't see Wyatt in the up here in the waiting room. Let's go ahead and talk to your P3 finisher, Jackson Brown here in the 31 machine. Hey Jackson, it's Christian up here in the HVTV booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do. Hello.
Well, a P3 finish for you in this 31 team, but I think that's a little bit of an understatement. Led quite a bit of laps tonight, as we see right now. 31 of the 100 laps led, but coming home, 2 spots short here in P3. Walk us through your race. Walk us through kind of those last couple laps there for you.
A lot of single file racing at the end. Never had the opportunity to really make moves. First half of the race was side by side, so couldn't really practice doing any moves while single file because you just never had the space to. So when it came down to the end, I tried making moves, had my teammate behind me in the 33, and just didn't get the opportunity to, and just waited too long. And bad block in the last lap put us in the wall, and that pretty much ended any chance of us winning, but still got a P3, so.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, we saw you guys with a huge run there going to the line there, with that white flag, help with the 11. Fortunately, the 11 was the one who put you guys in the wall, kind of ending any kind of momentum to get to the 77. But speaking of that, right, those lap cars who were in the pack, obviously, I felt like, did have a say in, how that racing and how more difficult was it to try to work around those lap cars who were leading the field there going to the white?
Was definitely difficult, especially both of them helping Wyatt there. I believe they're both his team. I know JJ in the 5 was, so it was almost like working against 3 cars instead of just the one. I tried helping Max as best I could, but he kept checking up, and I think he was just scared to make a move because of those extra 2 cars up front because they could just block and slow him up and let Wyatt keep the lead. So it was not the usual super speedway, not usually what you're planning on doing coming to the final laps when there's 2 more people you got to worry about who don't have a win and just want one guy to win. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely. I mean, once again, it's a teammate sport, especially at these super speedways, and it's. I understand why someone would be upset with the, kind of lap cars kind of getting in the way there, but still a P3 finish for you, a good solid start to your season here, getting a podium and stuff. So obviously a win would have been nice for really anybody here tonight, but still can't be too upset about coming home here in P3, getting an interview up here. And once again, congratulations on that. But before we let you go, is there anybody you want to thank here tonight for your podium here at the World Center of Racing?
Kobe Duckworth, my team owner, only reason I'm racing right now and just helped me throughout those final laps, let me lead all those laps. So wouldn't have been able to have such a good day without him.
Obviously, great team owner. And like you said, can't do anything without the team owners, here and letting us race. But once again, congratulations on that P3 finish. Hopefully, we can talk to you throughout the season, maybe a couple spots higher.
Hopefully, yes.
Have a great rest of the night.
You too.
Jackson Brown in the 31, obviously a little disappointed with the way that thing ended, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. We'll go ahead and talk to your P2 finisher, Tyler Helms, in that 3 machine. Hey Tyler, it's Christian up here in the HVTV booth. You got me?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Well, a P2 finish for you in this new 3 machine. Obviously I felt like you had a pretty quiet day considering, uh especially compared to a lot of the people who we're going to be talking up here with tonight. Well, walk us through your race. Walk us through, what got you up here inside these the top 3.
Well, I'll be honest, I had all around it was a bad race for me. I'm not proud of my performance. I mean obviously the P2, yeah, I'm ecstatic about that. But like I don't know. I was just making like a lot of dumb mistakes. I think I caused like 1 or 2 wrecks just being dumb. And pretty much off the start, I started at the back, then to make the duels, and some guy decided to stop in the restart zone pretty much. So I got front end damage, and then some guy decided to hit me, so I had front and rear end damage. We followed Jackson to the front, then we got involved in a wreck. Got a lot of damage. We're gonna try to fix it. Got to the stage, still had like 6 minutes left, and like might as well just take the fast repair and pray. Um, and then guy put me and Jackson in the outside wall off of a corner when we tried to go through at top. It made me mad. So I had the great decision of trying to door him at 200 miles per hour. And as soon as I tried to touch him, it wasn't like a door like where I turn right and just like slam him. I tried to like kind of scrape him a little bit, show him I was upset. And I got even near his car and it just hooked me. And then I had damage the rest of that race, the race from that. So I mean, P2 was just great to have. The lap cars I felt ruined the finish. I think if you see the white flag in the air, the lap cars should get to the apron because that would have been, I think, a great finish. I mean, Max got scared of it. 24 came up and hit him, and that ended up costing him the race. But we'll take a P2. I don't know when I'll be back, having surgery on Monday, so hopefully we'll be back in like a couple months, and maybe we can make a playoff push. But I mean, I guess we'll see. It was a good race though. I had fun. Obviously, it's a little bit more laid back compared to other leagues with the officiating and everything like that, which I'm grateful for. There's other leagues where you go out there and you cause one incident and you get a drive-through penalty, which is, I mean, wrecks are gonna happen. But P2 is great to have to start the season. Put us with some good points, especially after where we were all race. I think we were mid packer at the back 95% of it. So we'll definitely take a P2 here at Daytona.
Definitely a good finish for you in this 3 team. And before we let you go, once first of all, we're praying for you and hope for a speedy recovery and your surgery and everything else. Hopefully, everything goes well with there. But before I let you go, also, is there anybody you want to thank for tonight's finisher, finishing in P2?
Yeah, I like to, thank my team, Hive Motorsports, Team Motor, Spencer Morris and Trevor Huff. They put the cars on the track. Jason Beckman and Beckman Designs for the schemes. My teammates, Peter and Jared. We had a little bit of a moment when I was dumb today and got Peter a lot of damage. So obviously apologize to him for that. Like to shout out, um, Jackson Brown, working with me. We work really well, get to the front. We're together, or not, we're not together, but we're in a different league together that you've streamed before. And, well, me and him work together pretty well at the front. And, hopefully, hopefully my surgery goes, well. And hopefully we're back in a month and a half. I feel like I can drive by then. I don't know. I mean, it's all up in the air right now. I definitely think I can come back during the season. If I can make the playoffs is a different story, and if I can, I'm gonna do everything I can to go in the championship. But P2 is definitely a great way to start. Give us that buffer over the playoff for this extended time we're gonna be missing.
I definitely agree. Well, once again, congratulations on that P2, and once again, hope for that speedy recovery, and hopefully we can talk to you soon.
Yeah, thank you.
Tyler Helms comes home P2, and we'll be praying for him. I'm unsure of what going on with him when it comes to that, but we'll be praying for Tyler to make sure he can come home safe with a speedy recovery, and hopefully he can be on the track sooner rather than later. So, um, hopefully everything goes good with that. But lastly, time to talk to the man of the hour, Wyatt Thompson, taking home race one here from Daytona. Hey, Wyatt, it's Christian up here in HVTV booth. Got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, taking home the win here at Daytona, first win of the season, um, and obviously here at Daytona, it's got to mean something special to you. But obviously, I would say you ran up towards the front throughout the whole race here for the most part. But walk us through, your race. Walk us through, those last couple laps and what got you up here in the victory lane.
First of all, I didn't qualify or run the duel, so I started around the back, which I felt really comfortable with coming into a new field, a new season. I mean, this league is great. Last season, I trust the admins completely with what they're doing. Um, we ran really clean that first stage. I think we only had 3 cautions all race, which was amazing. We only had like 9 caution laps, and we were able to move around, get some good racing out of the whole field. It was really nice to have. That's not something that you get a whole lot of today, and that was super clean racing.
I definitely agree that it was a surprising shock to me as well that you guys went green, and that's not a diss to the league or anything. It's just that's how super speedway racing goes here on the sim. Sometimes you either get like long green flag runs or you get a wreck fest, and luckily we got the first part, which I'm super happy to see. But yeah, going to the those last couple laps here, obviously you had those lap cars in front of you who were trying to stay on the lead lap and you know, walk me through kind of the thought process of trying to navigate through those guys and work with them potentially to try to keep that lead there till the end.
We were really just we all pit together. Me, like my whole team, it was me, Ken, Caleb, and JJ. We all pit together, and all 3 of them got black flags for speeding. And Ken also got an unsafe pit entry, so I was kind of left out there, kind of got pushed back a little bit, and then we got to the front pushing Caleb and JJ to keep their lap back, hopefully get them some extra spots, which just didn't happen. And we built our gap up mostly. I think we're about 2 tenths away most of the time, 1 tenth away, and Max just couldn't really get it done with just one car.
Yeah, no, and that's what we kind of assumed up in the booth too. So keeping those two up front was you guys just trying to keep them up there to maybe catch a lucky caution to get them back on the to keep them on the lead lap instead of just shuffling them out.
Yeah, we were just trying to keep them in a good position. Ken had already, I think he was 2 down. He was already kinda gone, and they were gonna drop out on the white flag, but we got so shuffled, it was hard to coordinate that without one of us dying.
Well, regardless, you managed kind of the lap pairs well and was able to, keep the lead there. Obviously, we saw, them wreck behind you trying to get to you, and that kind of, really opened up the door for you to come here and take, your first win here in season 2. So congratulations on that. Yeah, honestly, winning at Daytona is always special to come here and get a win. But before I let you go, is there anybody you'd like to thank tonight for this win?
Thank you to the whole field for the amazing racing tonight. I mean, green flag runs like that don't come often, and it was great racing wherever we were in the field mostly. Um, and of course, the league admins for putting this up. This has been a great league last season, and I hope it does keep doing the same going forward.
We appreciate you coming down and talking to us. Once again, congratulations on tonight's win, and hopefully we can talk you down the line, maybe doing some more burnouts.
All right, thank you very much. Hopefully, see you back again.
Yep. And that was Wyatt Thompson, tonight's winner here from Daytona, starting out the year in a entertaining fashion, and he kind of nailed it right on the coffin. I mean, getting to see and see these, green flag pit stops develop and everything else, it's super cool to see because like I talked with Wyatt, sometimes you get these types of races where you can see these, long green flag runs come out, and you see the pit stops cycle out people, cycle in people, give people chances to maybe make a comeback story throughout the race. And then once again, sometimes you'll see those stories where um unfortunately, people just keep wrecking the cars and stacking everything up. But I'm happy to see that um, we ended under green, and we not only did we get the green flag pit stops, that cycle ended us to the race there. It's not like we got the green flag pit stop and then we got a caution shortly after. We went from that pit stop all the way to the finish, and it was definitely super interesting and super entertaining to get to cover here. Before we let everybody go, let's go ahead and look at your unofficial race results here from the Daytona 250. Obviously, we just talked to your race winner Wyatt Thompson in that number 77, taking home his first win of the season. Tyler Holmes will come home P2 after getting through the wreck there. Jackson Brown P3 after, also cutting into the wreck there. Carmelo in the 81 comes home with the P4, squeaks through the wreck as well. Colby Duckworth back at P5, and Max Ford, probably one of your favorites to come out here and win the race, comes home P6. I know probably a disappointing finish for him, but still a good points night for that 11 team. Alex Krasinski comes home 7th in that number 72 machine. Benjamin Bushnell P8. Lucas Lewis P9, and Joseph Enright will round out that top 10. P11 will be Peter Hop alongside Juan Cobbs Jr. coming home P12 in that 13 machine. Jacob Bryant P13. Reeves Simmons P14. Rex Jenkins P15, and rounding out the lead lap here, JJ Moore in that number 5 machine gonna come on P16. The rest of the top 21 lap down: Caleb Gordon, Ryder Morgan, Travis Prather, Wyatt Blair, and rounding out the rest of the field, Kenorian Davis and Cash Culp out early from Daytona. But what an entertaining race to call. Obviously, like I said, got to see, those long green flag laps come to be. We got to see some, some wrecks that we're used to seeing here at Daytona. We got to see, comparable to the field side, we kind of got to see a little mini big one there at the start, which is, what you expect here at Daytona. But once again, congratulations to Wyatt Thompson on his first win of the season. And like I said, hopefully he can keep up that momentum going into next week. Once again, a huge prayers up to Tyler Helms for a speedy recovery for his surgery. Hopefully he can be back here racing with us here in the Prestige Cup Series sooner rather than later. Like I said, just a speedy recovery for that whole 3 team, and hopefully we can see him soon. But once again, my name is Christian Delgado, your lead producer and commentator for tonight's race here at Daytona, and I appreciate everybody coming out, watching the broadcast wherever you are in the world. If you don't mind, if you're not subscribed to the channel over on the YouTube side, please hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell notification. And then when we go live every week on the broadcast, Also hit a thumbs up on the broadcast and just share it with friends and family. Obviously, we had an entertaining race and an entertaining finish, if you ask me. So if you wouldn't mind doing that, that would mean a lot to us over at the network. Not only me, but everybody over here on the network who works their tail off to make sure that the show runs as smoothly as possible. Lastly, if you are watching over on twitch.tv/ChristianBoss13, please drop a follow if you haven't. And even if and same thing with both people. If you guys want to go over and watch it, follow the Twitch, you're more than welcome to. People on Twitch, if you want to go and subscribe to the YouTube, you're more welcome to. We just want to give you guys as many options to watch the broadcast wherever you feel the most comfortable, whether it is over on twitch.tv or over on YouTube for the on High Velocity TV. So, once again, my name is Christian Elgato, your lead producer, commentator for tonight's race. Once again, congratulations to Wyatt Thompson on winning week 1 here at Daytona. Hopefully, he can continue to build that momentum. And we'll see you guys next week here with some more Cup racing here for the Prestige Cup Series. We'll be back live um, on Saturday for the ISF Cup Series at iRacing Super Speedway. If you guys are looking for some more Super Speedway racing, we'll be there on Saturday for that. Once again, I hope everybody has a good rest of the night. We'll see you guys soon. And enjoy the rest of your weekend. And we will see you guys soon.